What's going on today, YouTube? How are we all doing? We have today some squad reviews. We have our first ever Pens 2K Rate Your Squad. I almost said I Rate Your Squad, but Pens 2K Rate Your Squad. We have our first weekend league squads. We have a list of probably about 20 of them here. So we're going to go through and rate all these squads. Maybe a two-part video, to be honest. We have a lot of squads to do. So, yeah, we're going to basically rate the front three, the forwards, midfield, and defense, and give it a whole all-around score. This team right off the start here is iPancakes, one of the viewers. We're just going to assume that he plays Mbappe at the striker and just goes from there. Just going to make the assumption. As far as the front three goes, it is about as good as it gets. And then, obviously, the green link between these two as well. Midfield is very solid defensively. Boom, good to go there. And then assuming one of these guys is Cam, all great attacking midfielders, all great playmakers. So forward, we're gonna go. We can't go rookies first. We're gonna go 9.4 with the front line. The midfield is a little unbalanced. It lacks a true Cam. I mean, the closest you've got maybe like a Neymar in it Cam. You do have a true defensive mid and a box-to-box. So as far as a midfield goes, we're going to go with an 8.8 for the midfield. And defensive line, Mendy, Varane, Virgil, and Semedo, about as meta as it gets. I don't think you get much better at this stage of the game. These are probably the two best center backs in the game. And probably the best left back in the game. Personally, here, I would go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka just because the pace is... Yes, it is 6 different, but with a shadow or an anchor, it's pretty similar. And defensively, Wan-Bissaka is one of the best fullbacks in the game. Personally, for me, I'm going to go with an 8.7 simply because of Nelson Semedo at right back. We need to get Wan-Bissaka in there. I think that would make it a perfect 10, and Allison in goal is good enough. So overall, we're going to give this team a score of 9.4. 9.4, that's a review. Moving on to the second squad is one of my mods, Nike Eats Booty. So as a front, it's going to be the same thing. Front line, Carrasco, super meta, super cheap. It is pretty solid. Joao Felix, I have not used, but I've heard he's very good. Messi is obviously Messi. So front line, I don't know how you play this in-game. I would assume that you'd probably throw Dembele. You probably swap these two. Just my guess. If we're going off that assumption, I'm going to have to say that this front line... We're going to go with an 8.7. Messi carries that strongly. Carrasco's okay. If you wanted to, you could easily put Dembele there and play a different midfielder. I think that would increase it. As far as our midfield goes, Valverde and Llorente are both sick midfielders. Absolutely lethal midfielders. Very, very strong defensively, or all around. Not necessarily strong defensively, and I'm assuming Joao Felix is a cam or a center forward. So we're gonna assume midfield 3 of these 3 right here, these 2 on the outside, Felix in the center of the pitch. As far as the La Liga midfield goes, these are probably about some of the best cards that you can get. We're gonna have to go midfield. We got to keep it fair. We got to keep it consistent with the last squad. We're going to have to go with an 8.6. I'm feeling an 8.6 with this midfield. Yes, it is a very good midfield, but obviously there are better cards. As far as better cards that you can link, maybe not necessarily, but there are better cards nonetheless. Going into the back line, obviously these two are perfect. Ter Stegen, I have not used him yet this year, but going to assume that he is just as broken as he was last year, although he is only just under 40K going into the first weekend league, so maybe not. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you use Ter Stegen, is he as broken as he was last year? And who is the most broken goalkeeper this year? Let me know in the comment section down below. Moving on to the right center back and right back. You can do a little better than Nacho Fernandez. But with for the coins, it's pretty cheap. And Jesus Navas is the cheapest and probably the only right back that you can get in there. Backline, we're going to go with an 8.4. Good backline, let down a little bit by the center back. And just the lack of the ability to link a squad or link a player here kind of brings it down a little bit. So we're going to go 8.4. Overall, as a squad, it looks cheap, low overall, very meta. And of course, you've got Messi in there. We're going to go with an 8.7. We'll go 8.7 for this squad. Nike, that's a review, 8.7. Moving on to our third squad of the video, it is Don Azim, one of the VIPs in the channel. Immediately, you notice a lot of pace in this team. Rashford, Rodrigo, Lucas. Midfield, not the most balanced. Fred and Van de Beek aren't the best defensively. Fred is a very, very good card. but doesn't really offer a ton defensively. I do really like the front two. For the front two, as it goes right now, we're going to have to go with an 8-2 with a front two. Good, not great. Good, not great. Wingers into the midfield. See, the wingers in this squad are fantastic, but the midfield really kind of lets it down of Fred and Van de Beek. Fred is sick, but Van de Beek, as well as it is a sick card, kind of lets it down because you don't really have a true defensive midfielder in this squad. As a midfield whole, as an entire unit, we're going to have to say 8.7. We're going to go 8.6. 8.6. I usually don't second guess myself, but 8.6. Just, that's the only reason. Davinson Sanchez and Joe Gomez, probably the two best center backs that you can get in the Premier League. Reguilon and Wan-Bissaka, obviously with the Alex Telles card coming out today, his Gold United card, I would assume that he would throw him in there knowing that he is a Manchester United supporter. Back line, good here, good here, good here, good here. I'm going to have to go with an 8.7 on the back line. And for a total squad rating on this one, I really like the outside options on the wings. The strikers are very, very good as well. But center, these three kind of let it down for me just a little bit. Maybe more just these two. But I'm going to have to go all around. I think at 8.7 is a fair score. You gotta remember, with the cards available in the game, 8.7 is a very good score. That's making good use of what you've got available to you on the transfer market. But yeah. Okay, on to squad number 4. Votable Ginger. As good as it gets of a back two here, Militao and Varane. So, back line, as good as it gets, Wan-Bissaka, Mendy. That is, right now, in my opinion, other than having a Virgil van Dijk in here like we saw in the first squad, that is a flawless back line. We're going to have to go with a 9.3. 9.3 at the back line. The only reason would just be, obviously, like a Virgil here, but, it wouldn't really be able to link him on full chem, maybe on 8 chem, so... Well, 9.3 at the back line. Very, very good back line. Midfield, love it. Absolutely love the vision. Bruno, Allen, Sissoko, you've got a box-to-box, true DM, and a cam. Absolutely love this. This is what we call balance in a midfield. This is flawless. Sissoko, I'm not a massive fan of, but the card is still obviously sick. Allen is phenomenal. Allen, as far as like a bit of a scale for tiered list players go, for me, it goes Fred, Allen, Conte in that order. I would obviously need him for the links, but as far as the links go, yeah, if you weren't for the links, I would rather see you have Fred in there. But other than that, no, perfect midfield, absolutely perfect midfield. But, obviously it's not the highest rated, but I like it. We will go with a 9.4. The balance in this midfield is what gives it such a high score. Absolutely love the balance. Moving on to the forwards. I'm not a massive fan of Adama. He's got the 2-star weak foot, so I'm not a massive fan of that. As far as the rest of it goes, Jota's good. He's got some really good, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills is impressive. But no, St. Maximin as well, I do like that a lot. I just don't like Adama there, which really kills it. Yes, he is very good pace-wise, but he can't shoot to save his life. We're going to go with an 8.6 for this front line. Very, very good front two here, but Adama just kills it, man. Adama just kills it. Giving this squad a total rating of a 9.1. That's a review. We have a Twitter submission from Aaron Scott. We have 2 pictures here. One is I'm assuming like a pregame lineup, and then one is going into what he plays in-game. So we will judge this based off in-game. Not too bothered about what he lines up in if it's not what he plays in. Back 2, pretty solid. We're starting with the back line again for whatever reason. Back 2, pretty solid. Joe Gomez, obviously very good. I was not a fan of Ake. I didn't think he was fantastic. Wan-Bissaka is phenomenal, but I don't know if that's the right play there. I don't know if that's the right play there, is playing a right back at left back off chem when there's plenty of good left back options in the Prem. Reguilon, Telles gold card, obviously, for Manchester United came out today. That's another option. Midfield 2, very, very solid. Conte, very good. Pogba does it does a shift at defensive midfielder with the shadow on him. Dembele at cam like that. Messi, Ben Yedder. That is a terrifying front 3. Wow. Front three, as far as I'm concerned, that's a 10. That's a 10. You've got Messi, Ben Yedder, and St. Maximin. That's got to be a 10. I don't see any flaws in this whatsoever. Obviously a little weak, but that is literally it. And then Dembele at cam. No issues. Midfield perfectly balanced. Absolutely love it. Just because I mean he puts in a shift there, but I struggle to see him in there with a winger at camp. I don't know. It doesn't really provide a ton of cover for him. I'm going to go with a 9.1 with this midfield three. Very, very strong midfield three. And a back line, we're going to go 8.7. The only reason I think 8.7, Aki's okay. I can't remember if I gave this a rating or not. Aki's okay, but I just think Reguilon, Tellez, something like that would be much better suited at your left back. But other than that, now phenomenal squad. Absolute. This is a terrifying front group here. And then, of course, really, really solid there. Pretty solid. It's solid enough there. I just think you make that improvement. And honestly, if you get Tamori in here, if he's tradable and you pick up Tamori, I think you go up. I'm going to have to give this squad an overall score of 9.4. This is a terrifying squad. If I played this squad in Weekend League, I would genuinely be scared before this game even kicked off. Okay, moving on to the last squad of the first episode of the Pens 2K Rate Your Squad. We have Jeffrey Big Bum. Timo, striker, is okay, and he's untradeable. No issues. Very good striker, one of the best that the Prem has to offer in FIFA 21. Obviously not in real life. But anyways, Rashford, phenomenal off the left. He literally, to me, feels like a taller Neymar. I don't know if I will get rid of this card for a very long time. And Rafinha off the right, I've used, he's good enough. Not sure I agree with the chem style there, but I would probably go the Deadeye. He's good enough. So for a front three, we're going to give this an 8.7. Just because he's only just good enough. Front two, if you were to just go out the front two, it'd be a perfect 10. But he's, like I said, he's just good enough. I think you could do a little better off the right, but obviously, budget depending. I think, it's a good budget card, and the rest of your team obviously looks, pretty meta as far as I'm concerned. And Didi, very good defensive midfielder. Would probably, honestly, myself go for Allen. He is tradable as well, so I'd look to maybe go with Allen there instead. Obviously, he's much more expensive, but if you can get the coins, I would look for Allen. And Wijnaldum is one of the best cards that you could probably get as far as a box-to-box. And Kai Havertz, I mean, the card is disgusting. There's no questioning. It's a filthy card. 4-star, 4-star. I mean, it's as good as you could ask for. Finesse shot, outside of the foot shot. Very good traits as well as very good stats. Not much else you could really ask for. Perfect link here. Midfield, the only thing that I would change would be getting Allen here, but indeed he's good enough. I would say he's more than good enough. He definitely works. I would give this midfield 3. Oh, that's a tough one. We're going to go with a 9.2. 9.2. Guys, again, remember, this is relative based off what is out and what is available to players right now. Obviously, this could change and be, relative in 3 weeks from now when we get more promos. Moving on to the back line, Joe Gomez, Tamori. I would rather Wan-Bissaka here, but just me. And Reguilon, okay. Good enough. Fullbacks are good enough. Center back pairing is probably the best that the Prime has to offer, bar Virgil van Dijk. And Alphonse Areola. Areola is a cheat code in goal. He really is. I've heard Nick Pope, but meta, cheap goalkeeper. It does lower the score just a little bit because it isn't a big name goalkeeper, and that's, obviously to get a perfect 10, you do need, the big name players. We got to give credit where credit is due for those guys who have invested their way and packed them. Overall, back line, we're going to give the most credit to the center backs, and some of the goalkeeper and fullbacks are on the same thing. We're going to go with an 8.4 for the back line. Cheap, meta, okay. All around the squad, we're going to go with an 8.9. It'd probably be a 9.0, but we don't do rookie scores around here. 8.9 for this squad. I think Allen, Wan-Bissaka, and maybe Tellez, when you can get a hold of his gold card, would be, and maybe like a different right mid, even Bale, Gareth Bale, Lucas Moura. Perfect. Absolutely makes this squad a perfect 10 as far as I'm concerned. Right then, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this first ever Pens 2K Rates Your Squad, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that little notification bell so you know when I post the next episode. Also, we will be live streaming the Manchester United game. Not the game, but we'll be doing a live watch along tomorrow. We'll be going live a half hour before kickoff. Make sure you head on over, join, subscribe to the channel. and you get the live lineup reaction as well as thoughts throughout the game. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you see when I upload the next episode, and I appreciate you all so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Peace, fellas.